Oliver Twist by Charles Dickens. Our story begins in the dark, oppressive world of Victorian poorhouses, a place where the new poor law of 1834 punishes poverty instead of relieving it. Here, in the cold birth ward of a workhouse, a child comes into the world, Oliver Twist. His mother dies moments later, leaving him nameless and alone in a merciless world. For 9 long years, Oliver endures hunger and neglect. The children are given thin gruel, punishment disguised as charity. One night, driven by hunger and the teasing of the other boys, Oliver dares the unthinkable. He steps forward and pleads, "Please, sir, I want some more." His audacity earns him a beating and expulsion. Sold as an apprentice, he narrowly escapes a cruel chimney sweep, only to be handed over to the undertaker, Mr. Sowerberry, where his life of misery deepens. After endless cruelty and one last unjust blow, the young boy makes a desperate decision: to run away. With nothing but a small bundle and a great fear of the unknown, he sets off alone toward the vast, unfeeling city of London. Starved and exhausted, Oliver reaches the edge of the city, where he meets a boy with a cocky grin and clothes far too large for him, Jack Dawkins, known as the Artful Dodger. The Dodger offers food and shelter, leading Oliver straight into the shadows of London's underworld. The lodging turns out to be the filthy, crumbling den of Fagin, an old, cunning man who trains orphan boys to steal for him. Oliver watches, confused and uneasy, as the boys play a strange game, practicing the art of picking pockets. One morning, Fagin sends Oliver out on his first errand with the Dodger and Charlie Bates. Unaware of their true purpose, Oliver follows them until he watches in horror as the Dodger steals a handkerchief from an elderly gentleman. The crowd shouts, panic erupts. Frozen with fear, Oliver is caught and accused. Dragged to the police station and facing prison, the boy is saved at the last moment by the very man who was robbed, Mr. Brownlow, a kind gentleman who sees the innocence in Oliver's eyes. Mr. Brownlow takes Oliver into his clean, warm home. The feverish boy experiences for the first time kindness, comfort, and a gentle voice that truly cares. One day, Mr. Brownlow notices something strange. Oliver's face looks uncannily like the young woman in a portrait on his wall, and this small detail becomes the first clue to the mystery of the boy's past. Meanwhile, Fagin grows afraid. If Oliver speaks, his entire criminal network could be exposed. He calls upon his most dangerous ally, Bill Sikes, a violent thief, and Nancy, Sikes' mistress, torn between loyalty and compassion. Against her will, Nancy obeys. She finds Oliver and drags him back to Fagin's den. The light of hope fades once more, swallowed by the darkness of the underworld. Fagin and Sikes decide Oliver cannot be trusted. To make him a criminal forever, Sikes takes the terrified boy along, forcing him to take part in a house burglary. On the night of the robbery, fear grips Oliver's heart. When the household awakens, a shot rings out. Wounded and abandoned by Sikes, he collapses at the door, bleeding and broken. But instead of calling the police, the homeowners, Mrs. Maylie and her adopted niece Rose, take pity on him. They see not a thief, but a frightened, innocent child. Oliver spends a peaceful summer in the countryside. Surrounded by care and nature, he begins to heal, body and soul. Yet in the shadows, the conspiracy continues. Fagin meets a dark, sinister man, Monks. Together they plan Oliver's ruin. Monks reveals his secret. He is Edward Leeford, Oliver's elder half-brother. His purpose is cruel, to ruin Oliver's reputation so he can steal the inheritance. For this, he pays Mrs. Bumble, who sells him the evidence: a locket and a ring belonging to the mother so they can be destroyed. Torn by guilt and fear, Nancy makes a brave choice. She spies on Fagin and Monks and swears to warn Rose Maylie, even if it costs her life. One night on London Bridge, Nancy meets Rose and Mr. Brownlow. She reveals everything: Monks' secret, the stolen locket, and Fagin's plot to destroy Oliver. but she refuses their help, bound to Sikes by tragic loyalty. Suspicious, Fagin sends the Artful Dodger to follow her. When he learns of Nancy's betrayal, he tells Sikes at once, knowing the man's rage will bring terrible revenge. Enraged, Bill Sikes storms home. In a violent fury, he strikes Nancy and kills her. Her brave act of love is repaid with death. She becomes a martyr for Oliver's innocence. Sikes becomes a hunted man. The police, the mob, and his own guilt chase him relentlessly. Everywhere he turns, he sees Nancy's eyes watching from the dark. Trapped, he climbs to the rooftops to flee, but the rope he uses slips around his neck. In an instant, justice is served, brutal, sudden, poetic. Thanks to Nancy's courage, Mr. Brownlow arrests Monks. He forces him to confess. Oliver is the illegitimate son of Agnes Fleming and Brownlow's late friend, Edwin Leaford. The truth finally comes to light. Rose Maylie, the kind woman who saved him, is revealed to be his aunt, and Mr. Brownlow, the good man, becomes the father he never had. Fagin is captured and sentenced to hang. The day before his execution, broken by fear, he reveals the hiding place of the documents that prove Oliver's identity. Those who corrupted are punished, Fagin hanged, Sikes dead, and Mr. Bumble and his wife reduced to paupers in the very workhouse they once ruled. Oliver Twist finally finds peace. Adopted by Mr. Brownlow, he moves to the countryside, leaving behind the misery and crime of London for a life of warmth and innocence. Dickens's legacy endures, an unflinching condemnation of the social injustices of Victorian England, a society that punishes poverty and corrupts innocence instead of protecting it. Did you like this story? Let us know. Hit that like button, drop a comment below, and be sure to subscribe to Storytime Illustrated so you never miss a classic. Want more epic tales? Click on either video on screen now for your next illustrated story.